Hey, Jeff.
Hey!
Tell me all about why new construction is such a good investment.
I would love to, Susan. So we're clear here. I'm really talking to my investor clients. Either if you're investing currently as a client involved in our property management side, or you want to be an investor, this is a good time to pay attention, because often I get investors that come to me and say, find me a good deal. What they're really asking me is they want to find a deal where they can buy a house at 60 or 70% off. And the reality of it is, that's impossible right now. Those are something we used to do back in the days of 2007, 2008, 2009. Well, we had a glut of inventory of really cheap houses when foreclosures were happening and distress sales and short sales and all the things. That isn't going on these days. The market doesn't look like that. So when they come to me and say, I want to buy a house at 60 to 70% off, I say, not possible. So, well, can I get me, 80% off? Pretty rare. 90% off. Well, maybe, but it's going to be kind of ragged out. It's going to have problems and issues with it. So, and what happens is when they come into a situation like that, where I do find them a deal, and let's say they do get, 10 to 20% off of retail price, what happens is they have to come in and spend that same amount of money, that 10 to 20%, on capital improvements, on repairs, on roofs and heating and air systems and plumbing. And it's often what we experience initially when we turn around and put it out there as a rental, but quite often it's also what happens 6 months down the road, a year down the road, when things break. You're talking about appliances and all the other things. My partner Keith and I, we recently bought a property here in Lexington, South Carolina, and went through all the inspections, bought it. 6 months into it, put a new tenant in it, and the water's coming out brown. And we found what we didn't realize was our plumbing was a hot mess. And we're currently spending several $1,000s replacing plumbing that was not expected as a capital improvement when we bought it. It wasn't factored into our equation. So I say all that to say a great idea, instead of going through all that, is go look at new construction. In new construction, you're not having to deal with all these sorts of things because it's brand new. So you don't have to put in capital expenditures, upgrades, things like roofs and heating and air systems. There's zero repairs for several years there. The major systems are not a concern for a long time. Everything's updated. Your plumbing, electrical, all that, it's up to code. The house is more efficient, cheaper utilities, and things are more predictable. So when you're running your spreadsheets and trying to figure out a pro forma of what's this going to look like, you can be more predictable and more accurate on that. They also rent faster. They're brand new. Would you rather have a new house moved into or somebody's ragged out house that's been fixed up? The answer is you want a new house. So they're easier to rent. I get higher rents for them. You get happier tenants, longer tenures. It just works out better. And the nice thing about that too right now is there are builders out there with inventory sitting on the ground that will give nice discounts. So the possibility of knocking down $10, $15, almost $20,000 sometimes is a reality. I have transactions right now in the pipeline where I was able to get some of my clients $15,000, $20,000 off of the retail price that they're selling for to the public because they were buying multiple houses or paying cash for them or quick closes and things like that. So if that's something of interest to you and you would like the opportunity to talk to us, we would really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about working with our real estate team and choosing us. And if you're thinking about buying or selling and relocating to the greater Columbia area or investing in the greater Columbia area, please send us an email, a phone call, a text, whatever you want to do. We would be happy to take the next step and have that conversation with you about investing in the greater Columbia area. And as always, we're Jeff and Susan Riley here, your friends at the Carolina Results Team. Until next time, stay safe and be a smart investor.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye.